The fourth thing that I do is I intentionally walk more when I'm trying to pursue fat loss. So I can bike from my house to the Team Brock Ashby body quarters and it'll take me about 20 minutes. I can drive, and depending on traffic, it can take me 10 minutes or it can take me all the way up to 15. But if I cycle, I'm being much more physically active. I'm burning more calories. So look, to be very honest, I haven't done that in the first 3 weeks. That was just an option that I have that I'll probably start implementing soon because it's getting warmer. Obviously, cycling is limited in terms of weather. I'm not a fan of cycling in the rain. So I will wait till it gets warmer, and then I will start, if I add that in later on in the diet, then I can still kick my fat loss on and I can kind of keep revving it up, if that makes sense. But yeah, I intentionally walk more. I have a natural tendency to move quite a lot anyway, but I will go for walks with my wife. I will, try and catch up with a friend. Maybe we'll work out. We'll come to the Team Brock Ashby body quarters and we'll work out. Or, I try to find excuses to be active with friends or social environments. Go to the beach, go to the park, as opposed to sitting down at a cafe or just meeting at someone's house and just chilling. Look, I'm not going to say no to someone or try and bail on it if there's no option to be active. Obviously, I will try my best. But I think everyone in the world can benefit from moving a bit more, right? So if we can find excuses to do that, then that's awesome. And most people really enjoy it. Most people love going to parks. They love going to beaches. They love getting out and about, but they just don't do it enough. Our lives have become so sedentary. Our lives have become so, placid? So just like stationary. We need to get ourselves out of it. Things like, if you're on a phone call, get up and walk, pace the room while you're on that phone call. It actually helps for me to think as I walk. If I sit down on a phone, especially if I'm lying down on my phone, you can hear it in my voice. I sound lethargic. I sound lazy because that's the kind of physical posture that your body's in. But if you get up and walk, you're more energetic. You're probably going to think of better ideas. That's just bro science. That's not any science at all, but that's just what I experience. With rest periods, I get very, very intentional with them when I'm pursuing fat loss. So rest periods, many of my clients will know my stance on this. I want you walking. If you're getting 4,000 steps a day, it's not really good enough. We need to bump that up. So if you're working out in the gym and you do your sets of incline dumbbell chest press, as you're resting for that next set, pace the gym. You might just be going backwards and forwards. You might just go 2 steps forwards, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, just to get those steps kicking over. When I was back in the gym, 2016 to 2019 here in Sydney, a lot of them were corporate. They sat behind desks in offices. They had meetings back and forward. So every rest period we would walk. So I would be that personal trainer, would do our bench press, would do our squats, our deadlifts, whatever we were doing, our leg press. And then in our rest, we would go for a walk. We'd go for a walk to the water fountain, they'd get a quick drink, then we'd come back. Or we'd go for a walk. We'd just touch an end of the gym and then come back. It was just an excuse to move. But that could add an extra 2,000 steps to their day. So they could go from 4,000 to 6,000, which doesn't sound like much. But over the week, you've added 2,000 a day. That's 14,000 steps. That is significant. So these little things that you do on the daily, these intricate things that you can do and that I'm sharing with you today in your fat loss journey, they do add up. So don't discourage these little things that I'm sharing, because you can do them and they start to pay dividends. It's about working smarter, not working harder. And if we work smarter and we do things like add 2,000 steps to our day, then we don't have to flog ourselves in a 2-hour cardio session on a Sunday, because we're potentially burning just as many calories just by adding in extra steps in our rest periods. Okay, so these little habits are things that pop up in my head, and sometimes I'll just do it naturally. Because I've been aware of these little tricks and tips that I've created myself and that I've just learnt along the way. So intentionally walking more is a massive one. It doesn't just have to be walking. Maybe it's swimming if you love swimming. Maybe it's cycling if you love cycling. Maybe it's rowing if you love rowing. But I feel like walking is like a low-hanging fruit. We do that every day. Maybe you can get off the bus stop a bit earlier. Mate, here's one thing that really grinds my gears. When you're on an escalator, especially if you have a trolley, get to the side if you're going to stop walking, or else keep moving. It's like humans are just looking for any excuse to not move. As soon as they step on an elevator that moves for them, they stop. And I'm thinking in my head, you can still walk when the escalator's moving. If you see elevators, take the stairs if possible. These little habits all add up.